I love that. You know, going back to what you were sharing about how the patches work specifically and creating that biochemical response in the body. I know you shared we cracked the code, or I shouldn't say we, you cracked the code on a lot of things. And that's why these patches are so awesome. But as we're talking about Alavida specifically, I would love for you to explain a little bit about what type of biochemical response is happening when you use that particular patch.
Yeah, now I should say properly that there is both a biochemical response and a bioelectrical response. And this is important because when you look at our research, you'll see that we do the traditional blood and urine testing to validate what's going on in the body, but then we use a variety of bioelectrical tests. So we'll do thermography or infrared imaging, and this will show how the patches can reduce inflammation. We use a technique called heart rate variability, which measures muscle contraction in the heart. And we're going to talk about two different bioelectrical tests today that we use. One is called electrointerstitial scanning, and this shows within 30 days how the Alavida patch improves organ function in the body. And then I'm going to share one with you now, and I'm getting around to answering your question. But this part's important. Okay. Okay, so this is a technique that we have in our lab here at LifeWave, and it's called a biopulsar. And the biopulsar is interesting. It's a relatively expensive piece of equipment. It's not something most people are going to have. But what it does is it will show in real time what's going on in different regions of the body. So it can show what's going on in different regions of the brain, in the organs, and what it will do is culminate that data into a visual image to show what's happening with the bioelectrical field around the body. So I'm going to show you a very simplistic view from this equipment. The more complex view is to show it would look like an EEG readout where it has line graphs of the readings of each organ. So it'll take images and data from 50 different regions in the body. And then, so it distills that data down into a visual image where we can see what's going on with the bioelectrical field in the body. So it's very easy to interpret what's going on. And usually it takes months to change the bioelectrical readings. I'm going to show you what happens in 5 minutes of using Alavida. Now, ideally what we want to have is the color of the electrical field to be this turquoise or blue, somewhere around in the middle. And when we see these gray areas, it means that the person was not making good contact with the electrodes. And the other thing is that the circle is going to show us, let's say, the outermost portion of the bioelectrical field in the body. And we really want to see this as expansive or as large as possible. That shows a very youthful, healthy field. So 5 minutes after applying the patch, this is what happens. The readings go to almost perfect. This is exactly the color that you'd want to see. If you look at the individual graphs, it would show that the bioelectrical current flowing through the tissue is extremely stable. And you've also seen that the bioelectrical field has begun to expand. We can say here their hand might have been making a better contact, but we can also see that the field is pushing up a bit. So this is a phenomenal result for only 5 minutes. And by the way, you'll notice that this was a person 62. So we definitely would not expect a very rapid reaction as people get over the age of 50 and 60. So, you know, what's happening here? Now, this was a 43-year-old woman who participated in and this woman, I happen to know, was suffering with a number of very significant health problems So hence these readings. And this is a good time to say, we're not making any medical claims here. All we're looking at is the way bioelectrical energy flows through the body. And after 5 minutes, a very dramatic improvement. Again, we see that the flow of bioelectrical energy has normalized and the field has expanded. Like, for example, you can see it's only coming around here on her hand, and then in this image, it has expanded all the way over. So this is really a phenomenal result. So that's what's going on bioelectrically. Now, biochemically, how is this possible? Well, there was some very interesting research out of Russia by a doctor named Kavinsin, and he was looking for peptides that could significantly lengthen lifespan and improve immune function. And he discovered one called epithalamine. And epithalamine is more colloquially known as epitalon. But epithalamine is a peptide that resides in the pineal gland of the brain. And essentially what he found is that when you elevate this peptide, you can reduce oxidative stress, and this contributes to improving lifespan and health span. And so normally epithalamine will decline with age. And so I invented a patch to elevate epithalamine. And what we found is that if you can reduce oxidative stress, not only is it great for your health, but it also improves the quality of the skin. So that's a short story of how that was developed for Alavida. A lot more, but that's a nice overview.